Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so you've brought in something, well, definitely different today. We're looking at leadership, but through this really unusual lens, right? A leadership manual inside a romance novel.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique setup. We're drawing from the melody of leadership, 10 Commandments, entwined in a love story. And it really does try to weave these big leadership ideas, philosophy, neuroscience, branding, storytelling, into this narrative.
It sounds ambitious. So our mission today is to unpack the big one, this idea that leaders are servants. How does this romance/manual actually explore that?
Well, it starts with a setting. We're dropped into this leadership boot camp, very high stakes, on the coast of Bangladesh.
Okay.
And our main figures are Royal Navy Commander Kevin Cruz. He's the experienced leader running the show, and Caroline Cambridge. She's a bright MBA grad acting as his secretary and mentee for the camp.
Got it. Seasoned pro, ambitious newcomer, but then the source apparently throws in some drama right away.
Oh, yeah, straight into it. There's gossip among the trainees. The book names Vera, Tony, and Leon specifically. They're whispering that Kevin and Caroline's relationship isn't just professional.
Ah, the classic office rumor mill.
Exactly. And Vera is painted as particularly malicious, trying to cause trouble, maybe seduce Kevin, definitely undermine Caroline. The source uses phrases like wicked smile.
Okay, so pretty clear conflict setup.
Yeah.
How does Commander Cruz handle that? Because that seems like the first real leadership test right there.
Right. And he doesn't brush it off. The book stresses how corrosive that stuff can be. So he addresses it head on, but tactfully. He gets the group together.
Publicly.
Confirms it's a professional mentorship, even offers the same guidance to anyone else interested, clears the air very firmly.
That's quite clever. Using that moment of, petty drama, the exact opposite of service, to actually set the stage for his lecture on service. He's addressing the group's needs first.
Precisely. He manages the disruption, tackles the rumor, and then he transitions into the day's topic, which brings us to the core concepts: vision, purpose, and mission.
Okay, let's break those down. People tend to mix them up, right?
They do. And Cruz draws really clear lines. He says, vision and dreams, that's the inspiration, the clarity. That's the where you're going. Like the destination you plug into your GPS.
Okay, the where.
The purpose, that's deeper. It's the why. Why do we exist? Why are we doing this? That's the engine.
Yeah, the driving force. Got it.
And mission, that's the day-to-day. The actions, the steps, that's how we stay on course to reach that vision, guided by the purpose.
Vision is where, purpose is why, mission is how. Okay, but then the source takes a really interesting turn, linking purpose to something, well, much bigger.
Yes, and this is where you really see the book's unique perspective. It grounds purpose in this idea that humans are created as God's vicegerent on Earth.
Vicegerent. Okay, that's a big word. What does that actually mean in this context, like for a leader?
It's fundamental to the book's argument. A vicegerent is like a steward, a trustee. It means your authority isn't your own, it's delegated. You're responsible for looking after creation, serving others. So leadership isn't about power for yourself.
It's about fulfilling a duty.
Exactly, a duty of care. And the source actually points to a specific Quranic verse here, 49.13.
Which says?
It talks about humans being created from male and female, made into nations and tribes, so that you may know one another. And it states the most noble among you isn't the richest or most powerful, but the most righteous, most God-conscious.
So the whole point of our differences, our tribes, is to connect and understand.
Yeah.
And nobility comes from righteousness, which links back to service.
That's the connection the book makes, yes. Yeah. Our inherent purpose, from this viewpoint, is service, making a positive impact on others.
Which then reframes the whole psychology of leadership, doesn't it? It suggests we're actually hardwired to find happiness in serving.
That's the argument. True fulfillment. Deep meaning. It doesn't come from just stacking up wealth or titles. It comes from service. And the leaders who really get that their main job is to serve their people, they find that genuine satisfaction. The book mentions Mother Teresa as a kind of ultimate example.
Right. Total dedication to service. So if service is the core purpose, then any job done in service has dignity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cruz argues this makes everyone a potential leader. Any honest work that serves others is respectable. It completely shifts the focus away from salary or status.
And the source uses that incredibly powerful Martin Luther King Jr. quote about the street sweeper.
Yes, it's such a strong illustration. MLK saying, basically, if you're a street sweeper, sweep streets like Michelangelo painted. Sweep so well that everyone has to pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well.
Wow, it elevates service to this level of artistry, demanding excellence no matter the role.
Exactly. And this isn't just for, everyday jobs. The source applies the same principle to top innovators. It talks about Steve Jobs.
Not about the iPhones and the money, I assume.
No, about his purpose.
Yeah.
He famously said, being the richest man in the cemetery didn't matter. What mattered was going to bed saying, we've done something wonderful. Service through innovation.
That classic story of him recruiting John Scully from Pepsi comes to mind.
Right. Asking him, do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life, or do you want to come with me and change the world? It wasn't just about soda versus computers.
It was about service versus just profit.
Fundamentally, yes.
Yeah.
And that kind of purpose-driven approach builds incredible loyalty.
We see that dedication in public service, too. The source mentions JFK.
Yeah, the famous, ask not what your country can do for your country, ask what you can do for your country. It's that same call to a mission bigger than oneself.
And the book brings it right up to date, acknowledging the essential workers during the pandemic.
Definitely. It makes the point that the nurse, the bus driver, the delivery person, the cleaner, their roles were just as vital, maybe more so in that moment, than any CEO or celebrity. Their service was undeniable.
It also mentions Tony Robbins. How does he fit in?
As an example of leveraging success for service on a massive scale, his 1 billion meals challenge. The idea is once you gain influence, the purpose shifts to serving as many people as possible.
Okay, so this applies to individuals, but how does it scale up? How does a whole company embody this mission of service? The source uses Whole Foods.
Yes, and specifically a quote from co-founder John Mackey, "We're not retailers with a mission. We're missionaries who retail."
Ooh, that's a powerful distinction.
Isn't it? It says their identity isn't selling groceries. It's a mission-quality food, sustainability, community, and retail. It's just how they do it.
And there's that story about the flood.
Yeah, incredible story from 1981 in Texas. Huge flood, devastated the store. And the book says employees and customers just showed up, worked for free, long hours to save it.
Why?
Because they believed in the mission. They didn't want their store, their community hub, to disappear. You don't buy that kind of loyalty. You earn it through genuine service.
So, the leader is a servant, the organization is driven by a mission. But Commander Cruz also talks about leaders being guardians. What does that add?
This takes the definition deeper, connecting it back to that idea of being servants of God and his creations. It means leadership starts with accountability, not just to shareholders, but to a higher duty.
A duty to serve and protect.
Exactly. That's the guardian role. It's about shielding the community, whether that's a company or a nation, from harm, from injustice, promoting fairness, encouraging consciousness of that higher purpose.
So it's a holistic view. Success isn't just this quarter's profits.
No, it's about long-term well-being, aiming for success in this life, and considering the impact beyond. And the ultimate measure, the book keeps repeating it, the trust and confidence of the people you lead.
Which circles us back to the core structure of the book, those 10 commandments, contrasting the good servant leader with the bad, selfish one.
Right, that contrast is the main teaching tool. Good leaders serve and nurture, bad leaders just serve themselves. Simple as that, really.
So let's quickly recap some of those key differences. How do they influence people?
Good leaders influence through character and competence. People want to follow them. They're enchanted, you could say. Bad leaders use their position, their power, to ensnare people. It's coercion, not inspiration.
What about their vision for the future?
Good leaders create an inclusive vision where everyone feels part of it, part of the success. Bad leaders, their vision is all about them, their own ambitions. The team's just there to make the leader look good.
And how does this show up in, say, storytelling or building their brand?
Good leaders tell stories about the people, about the purpose. That builds trust, connection, loyalty, a real tribe. Bad leaders, they only talk about their own achievements. It comes across as arrogant, and it actually spreads negativity, resentment.
It's like a mirror image, ethically.
Completely. And the big takeaway, tying back to Cruz's lesson after the gossip incident, is that good leaders barely think about their job title. They're consumed by the responsibility they have to the people they serve.
That's what gives their work meaning, according to this source. The service, not the status.
Exactly. The drama at the start, Vera's self-serving plotting, was the perfect setup to highlight this core message of selfless service.
So we went from, workplace gossip and potential seduction plots, all the way to this pretty profound idea that service is the real path to making a difference as a leader.
And the book hammers home that leadership itself is like building a brand. You're either building trust and connection through service, or you're creating distrust and anger through selfishness and arrogance.
Which leaves us, and you listening, with something to think about, pulled straight from the source. Commander Cruz says leadership is measured by trust. So if you think of your own leadership, maybe at work, maybe just in your life as your personal brand,
Right.
who are you serving? And how much trust have you actually earned?
And it makes you ask, can a leader who only serves themselves truly lead in the long run? Or are they just holding on to a position until that brand, that facade of arrogance, finally cracks? Without service, maybe leadership isn't really leadership at all, just temporary power.
Definitely something to mull over. Think about your own purpose, your own mission. Until next time, keep digging deeper.